Welcome to this episode where myself, Chief, and Moineau are going to be talking about Stephanie Goerlich's book, With Sprinkles on Top. When you listen to this, you'll get some ideas for exercises that you can do with your partner or someone you're dating to improve your communication skills. And myself and Moineau are going to do 2 of those exercises from the book. Now, this is a great book. It's really useful if you're a kinky couple or you're kinky and your partner's maybe vanilla and you're struggling to express your desires to your partner and you're feeling unfulfilled. These exercises we're going to do will give you some insights into ways you can communicate with your partner and make sure that your needs are being met. Please do give us a follow on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this. It really does help. We're so close to getting over 10,000 followers, which I know in the grand scheme of things doesn't sound like a lot, but for a small podcast like ours, it really encourages us to keep making the content. Anyway, on with the show. This podcast contains frank discussions about sex, kink, and BDSM. If you're a consenting adult who wants to learn more about these topics, then stay tuned.
You're listening to Chief from kinkyevents.co.uk, helping you create the dom-sub dynamic you've always fantasized about.
I have a fun fact for you.
Do you?
I do indeed.
I like a good fact.
Surveys show, I don't know which surveys these are,
Okay.
but surveys show that somewhere between 2 to 8% of people, I don't know where these people are, I don't know if it's global, this is an American-based book that I'm getting this information from, 2 to 8% of people identify as kinky. That means that BDSM practitioners are about as common as redheads or people who are left-handed, which is great.
Why is that funny?
Because we are both redheads and you are left-handed. So we what are the odds of that? So you have to multiply the
8 squared. 1 in 8 squared.
But less. So in terms of a decimal, you have to add zeros.
Yeah,
so
1 in 8 squared.
not only are we rare, but we're ultra rare. We're like the rare Pokemon that you get.
0.64%.
All right, maths genius.
That's probably completely wrong. I think it's that. Under 1%.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. This little fun
What
fact
is the book, by the way?
Is from the book by Stephanie Goerlich, PhD, with sprinkles on top. Everything vanilla people and their kinky partners need to know to communicate, explore, and connect.
Which you've been reading recently.
Yeah. I've known about this book since before it was published because I work with books. And when I saw this, I was like, ooh, put that in my basket. And I did. And I got it. And Stephanie Goerlich is a sex therapist. She's been a social worker and then she's she's a therapist. Anyways, but she works specifically with kinky people now and kinky people and their partners. She's also the award-winning author of the professional books The Leather Couch and Kink Affirming Practice. So
and what's the tagline? Because what's the book about?
The tagline of this one is everything vanilla people and their kinky partners need to know to communicate, explore, and connect. So this book is specifically geared towards people who are in relationships, but where one partner is kinky and the other person is vanilla.
Yes.
So this book is not going to be one that I think is relevant to every one of our listeners, but I think there's lots of value to be found in this book. There's an incredible list of bibliography at the end of each chapter with more reading. She's done her research and I like how she goes through different subjects. And I've not read the whole book, but I think there's some really good valuable tips to explore, even if it's not relevant to a couple who are both kinky. It's not as relevant, but there's still really good exercises in here. And I think it's important to always be practicing communication tips. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we say it all the time. Communication is the main thing that helps sex and relationships. So any sort of exercises or different styles of communication or tips that we learn, it's good to know.
Yeah. So this is almost like a conflict resolution book. What happens all of a sudden you're vanilla and you've realized that, oh, my partner is into some creepy shit. And she talks about that. What does it mean to be disgusted by someone's sexual fantasies? And can you get past guilt and shame if you have fantasies that other people would consider abnormal, and what does normal even mean, and can there be any resolution in a relationship when you realize that you have sexual desires that are not aligned, and is it because of like social conditioning that you just automatically think that something's weird or gross or wrong, or potentially is it like have you actually ever thought about it for yourself? Like maybe people who would consider themselves vanilla, bog standard in sexual practice and desires, maybe they could be a little bit more kinky than they realize if they find compromise, like if they start actually dissecting, and not people or things, but like dissecting.
What if their kink is dissecting people?
Dissecting their thought patterns.
What if they're a surgeon and that's their kink?
Well, that would be mixing professionalism and pleasure, and I think that's probably not appropriate.
Allowed. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever experienced where you've shared a kink with someone and they have poo-pooed it? Was it a scat-related kink?
Wrong use of word.
No, I chose them very carefully, those words.
Well,
for the Americans.
no.
Do you have that saying in America?
What?
You poo-poo
Yes,
something.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it just sounds more cute and quaint when it comes from your accent. Considering that you're my only kinky partner, essentially, basically, that I've been with. No, the caveat is that I am self-aware myself, that I know that some of my fantasies when I'm reading Erotic or whatever are purely mental fantasies and nothing that I'd actually want to experience in real life. So even though we have both realized recently, like in one of the later podcasts, that we both are kind of intrigued by the idea of piss play, or specifically you peeing on me. That's
something we haven't.
Well, we've experimented
yeah.
once when neither of us were aroused. Basically, we were just in the shower, and then she had to go, and so I knelt down and we tried. No, I didn't even kneel. You just peed on my like lower half on my legs, and it just felt warm. So, but I am intrigued with the idea still. And I think we could play with that. Anyway, but apart from that, like
no friends you've mentioned it to, and they've been like, "Oh, that's weird."
Because I mean, who?
Yeah, what
I
friends?
don't have friends.
You don't talk to your imaginary friends about it.
Well, they all participate in my kink, so it's fine.
Yeah, Belinda, my imaginary friend, she loves being pissed on. That's where I got the idea.
Belinda,
Yeah,
Belinda and her blinks.
Belinda blinks. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but sounding is one that I'm exactly.
Oh, yeah, my instant reaction.
I know. And
do you want to explain what sounding is?
Sounding is inserting things into the urethra, whether that be
of a man,
whether that be the male urethra or the female urethra. And my porn watching habits and reading habits have included both of those things. I don't know if it's if it was the fan fiction that led me onto it. I don't know.
Do you want it to happen to you or
both? No. Mostly me, actually, and not to you. I wouldn't want it attempted to you specifically.
I've had it happen because when you get tested for an STD
or something,
and they don't often do it anymore.
They swab inside.
Yeah, it's like an upside down umbrella, and they put it in, and it hurts.
Yeah, but lots of things can hurt without the proper preparation. Anal can hurt without the proper preparation.
Yeah. How do I prepare
I wouldn't want
my hole
to sound you because
I'm your sounding board.
because you're not my dom, and it's very much like a subby thing. But I don't mind watching like gay sounding.
So do you want to
videos.
sound someone else?
No, I just like I can put myself in the place of the male. Like it's like I just that it's intriguing, but I of course wouldn't want that to happen in real life. And
so it's not something you want.
No, it's a mental fantasy. That's what I was prefacing. So no, I've not had things
I'm trying
before
to think.
because my mental fantasies that are more extreme, I know that because of either health or safety reasons, I wouldn't actually want to experience in real life. And sounding, I think, is the one that's the most like easy, to say.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I like that I wouldn't want to happen in real life. Like if I'm fantasizing about
Like
stuff.
you've been pegged before.
Yeah. But that's
you
the
said
opposite.
that, and you would, but you
I
would,
wouldn't want to
you
do
would-
that anymore.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to think of
anymore.
anything I fantasize about that I wouldn't want to happen in real life. I don't think there's much.
Queening or like being suffocated. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't fantasize about that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about like what do men fantasize about
Yeah.
with
I guess I don't watch because I don't watch. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess what it is that you're not reading enough kinky fiction
I don't read any.
to let me tell you, there's a world out there. Docking. If I were a guy, if I had a penis and I was participating in some gay sex, which I would because it's hot. Then
Would you?
Yeah.
So if you're a man, you'd be gay. But is
Yeah.
that because you're a woman and you like men?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. I'd still like
And
I'm
isn't
sure I would.
docking
Yeah.
like I think I know what it is, but
It's putting the penis within the foreskin or the head of another's penis.
okay, I'm thinking of something
Just
slightly different.
like-
I thought it was different. I thought
What do you think docking is? 'Cause
well,
to
I
be
thought
fair-
space docking
Yeah.
was I might have got this totally wrong. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Mm.
It's where one person is pooing and the other person puts their mouth around their anus. I'm gonna have to check it
Maybe
out.
that's called space docking specifically. I'm thinking about just like docking.
Docking.
I would not.
slang.
I don't want. I mean, sorry. I know the whole like yuck your yum thing, but the corprophilia is something that I definitely.
No,
I definitely
I'm
do
wrong.
yuck.
You are right.
Oh, good.
You are right.
Oh, good.
I just went somewhere
Yo,
deep in
that's-
my mind. It's
you
repressed
have a-
fantasy.
Do you have a fantasy that you want to tell me about there?
No, but I've just found a docking. Who's done it? Is it even possible? And if so, how does it feel? Ask gay bros on Reddit.
Yeah.
I don't see how that could work. Well, it couldn't work for me because I'm circumcised. So
Well, exactly.
I cannot. I can never dock anyone.
Yeah.
I
You are
feel-
dockless.
I blame my parents. I will never be able to dock.
It sounds like something to go to therapy
But
for.
you could dock me.
I cannot
with
dock
your
you,
vagina.
but I could dock you with my. Well, no, because you're dockless. You don't have a dock.
No, you can dock me.
No, well, yeah, but that's
I'm the
just that's
spaceship,
sex.
you're the dock.
that's
Well,
just
yes.
penis and vagina penetrative sex.
Yes, but we could call it docking, and it sounds more
Sure,
hot.
I guess I can stick my finger in your ear and also call it
Yeah.
docking.
I regularly dock myself. I dock my nose all the time.
Ew, and eat it.
No, I don't get that far. That's disgusting. That's not my kink.
Okay, so anyway,
Pogophilia.
that aside, ew, gross. But that's a thing. I don't research that.
So the question was, yeah, any
Are there any?
time you've been shamed for your kinks,
No, the
or
question
told
was,
someone
No, the question was, are there any kinks that
you've told and people have been
that they've poo-pooed? Yes, that's the term you used. Yeah, no, because apart from like, I've been
because
with
we've established you got no friends.
I have no friends, and you're open to most of the things that I'd want to actually do in real
Yeah.
life, and all the other things I don't want to do in real life. Although, I know that you have a slight hang up. I do. See, and this is the thing. It's like, would I actually want this to happen in real life? Probably not, because of my anxiety. But if I didn't have my crippling anxiety, then the whole idea of having multiple individuals with penises use me when you're like guiding them, because I'm your property, obviously, and so I'm putting all of my trust into you, and then you're just letting anyone use me. I still find that intriguing, but actually in real life, probably not. I'd probably have a massive anxiety
You
attack
would.
about it, and there's no way that we'd even get that far.
You would.
We'd go to dinner, and then I'd just have to leave and be on the toilet, unfortunately, because my anxiety is attached to my bowels.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. So that's the one, because I know that
But
you
that's
haven't.
not one that you've.
But I know
no,
that
who's
you,
poo-pooed that?
well, you a little bit, just because I know that you're less interested in the idea of sharing me with multiple men.
It's more the fact I don't get turned on by guys.
Yeah.
If it was like double penetration,
But
I'd
isn't
do
it?
that.
Isn't it also? I mean, I'm game in theory to double penetration.
I know, it's just
but
an anxiety.
isn't it also an issue though about having other? We've talked about this before about like having other people use me. Like there's a possessiveness.
I guess I don't know because
We've not
done it. I think I don't know. It's because it doesn't turn me on, the act of sharing, and so I'm not sure what I'd be getting out of it because the control aspect of it, of letting people use you, isn't arousing enough to me. It's not like
even,
super turn on.
Even though like you're aroused generally by being in control in sex.
Yeah, but it's different. It's different.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it was women using you with a strap on, that'd be different because then I'd have something to sort of
that
watch.
would turn me on less because it's the masculine. But I'm not opposed.
But also,
I'm not opposed to that.
I wouldn't say no. If you wanted it, I'd do it because, you know, we've had threesomes where it's been with other women and you've been all right with that.
Sounds like we've been very adventurous. Our threesomes, I'd say, have been...
I've had 3 threesomes. That's more
that's
like
true.
That's more than
have
most.
Have we had 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have had 3. But I'd say it's like when I think threesome,
They're
I
not
think like
really
fully involved.
Yeah.
And I'd say we've had threesome light, like threesome all lowercase -lite
Yes.
tm
Subscript.
Yeah.
Yeah, I subscript. Yes, because you're not really attracted to women, so you haven't really
I can
played
be
with
swayed.
them.
And actually, some of my porn watching habits lately have involved a bit more women. But
the reason
as couples bringing in someone else, and I am always imagining myself being the one being brought in.
The reason I'm bringing it up because I can already know some of the listeners will be thinking, oh, how what's the word? Hypocritical
Yes.
how hypocritical how that's Hippocrates exactly, that's where it came from. Exactly, well, it's the same thing, right? Yeah, how hypocritical that we've had threesomes with women, but when I think about you with men, we've not done it or we've not tried, and it's because it's not, I don't think it's the sharing, it's just that it's not, I don't find turn on with guys. As I said, if it was me and another guy and double penetration, that would be a turn on. But multiple guys, I'm like, it doesn't really get me going.
I can downgrade my fantasy to a double penetration.
To 6 as opposed to 12.
I was never thinking 12, but I can downgrade it.
Yeah.
I'd actually probably have much less anxiety doing a double penetration.
But I just wanted to finish my thought process, because I think a lot of people will think this, and
hypocritical.
I'm in two minds because we like the idea of a threesome, or I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You can still say no, and we wouldn't do it. But if it turns you on enough because you enjoy me being dominant with someone else, then that's enough of a turn on to get you over the barrier.
Yeah, I can co-opt my own kink to make it more pleasing to myself.
Yeah, and
something that would be less pleasing generally.
And so I'm trying to think in my head,
can you do the same?
You know, if it was with 6 guys or whatever, can I do the same? Like at what? And for me, I think with one other guy, probably, yeah. With 2 other guys, probably.
Yes. I'm happy to stop there.
Yeah.
Let's end it there.
As long as I like them, that's the tricky bit.
I have 3 holes. Triple penetration is a thing. You know, I think it's something that we could aspire to.
Well, yes, but your anxiety
but
would
it would never happen
and we've
in
not
real
found
life.
anyone.
It would never happen in real life, so it stays a fantasy. Although I will say, like, in our threesomes with other women, it's not a turn on to me, really. You know, I'm able to co-opt my own thing, but it still turns me on much less than just having sex with you.
Yeah.
But I'm able to, you know, and it's not like I'm sacrificing myself or like doing something that I don't like just to please you, but I'm willing to put myself in an uncomfortable position to see what happens, because I want you to receive that pleasure, even if I don't have pleasure in the moment. And how is that much different than, you know, giving you a massage where it's a lot of hard work for me. I'm not getting any pleasure out of it.
I feel like everyone listening to this is going to be like, "Oh, what an idiot Chief is! Like he gets everything his own way." But getting back to the point, yes. So you're compromising that situation, and if I know that you don't like threesomes, then I wouldn't do it again. because I know it's a thing. But likewise, I would compromise if you said to me, if you didn't have anxiety and you were like, no, like this is an 8 out of 10 fantasy for me to have 3 guys, I'd be like, yeah, let's give it a go.
It is an 8 out of 10 fantasy for me.
Is it?
But
Well, there we go.
But I have anxiety,
Right.
so we need to work on the
I
anxiety
get my
first.
phone.
Yeah. But
Should I just go randomly
the
through
real
my
issue
address book?
here, the real issue here is that neither of us has friends. so
Yeah.
sorry.
Certainly not ones that are kinky
Exactly.
enough.
That's the thing. It always comes down to
But then we try and go
logistics.
to Munches, and then we're like, oh, we don't want to go to Munch.
And also,
'cause it's
oh, we
boring.
don't like anyone there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
But
this
because
is all
we're
fantasies.
because we're both not very sociable.
No.
We're
introverted.
We know some couples who are very social.
They go out all the time.
Yeah, but they also meet shitloads of people.
and they're always then I'm like, oh, it must be so exhausting.
Yeah, but not
we
to
both
them.
say it. No, but to
I
each
wish
other,
I was
though.
more like them because they've been with
I
other
don't know.
couples multiple times.
I think I'm quite content.
I know you are.
I know. And
You're never
not.
gonna get your fantasy otherwise.
But I've got a mental imagination that's very vivid. My dreams are incredibly vivid, so I don't really mind. And then I read the books and I fiddle myself, and then it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so sometimes
So we've come to the conclusion. I am selfish,
no.
and I never listen to
No,
your thoughts and
no,
opinions.
Stop. No, this is putting you in a poor light, and I hope that none of the listeners are thinking that.
I'm gonna get hate email now.
No. The thing is, this is all happening like because I actually like it's all good.
Yeah, I will say I have had a threesome with another guy.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's about to email going, oh, you only want to. No, a partner in the past wanted it with another guy. And I was like, fine, let's do it.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on a past episode.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Actually, I've had 2 with 2 other guys, but one was like I was
Congratulations.
just watching,
Yeah.
not because I wanted to, but she wanted to. So I was like, oh, yeah, off you go.
So what is that? Cuckold, right? If you were
Uh,
interested in it, it would be called cuckolding.
Yeah, I wasn't getting
But you
turned
weren't,
on
so,
by it.
so then it's not.
No, I was just like,
Yeah.
I was just
Watching. Like,
just
all right.
waiting. I was like, get on with it.
Yeah. Scrolling.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not hypocritical because we're allowed to like different things and it's no judgment on yourself. And I think it's perfectly fine that you have fantasies or I have fantasies that you don't feel comfortable in fulfilling. That's okay. You know, I wouldn't want to force you into anything that you're uncomfortable with. And generally, you know, like boundaries are important to respect. And I think if you're trying to find some partner that will align 100% with all of your kinks, good luck. Well done, you. But the reality is that most relationships, you are going to have different sexual interests than your partner. Sometimes it's very slight and you're able to find so much crossover that it's not an issue. Other times it's very, very vast, in which case you will have lots of issues, which conveniently brings us right back to the topic of this book, which is what happens if you have kinks that do not align with your partner because they don't have those kinks or they don't have any kinks.
Is it is the book for people where they have a kink but they haven't expressed it to their partner, or they've expressed it and their partner said no?
Either way. This is either for vanilla people who have all of a sudden discovered that their partner is kinky and are freaking out, or it's kinky people who have either just divulged or want to divulge to their vanilla partner and knowing that it might cause some conflict, and where do we go from here?
Great. And it's just a reminder for people who have, for some reason,
Might forgot.
not listened to our ramblings for the first 20 minutes. It's called
With Sprinkles on Top by Stephanie Goerlich, PhD.
Available at all good bookshops.
And it's from Sounds True, which is a brilliant publisher. So I do recommend. Yeah. So back to the book. Now, obviously, most of our kinks align. So what are we doing reading this book? But I think there's something that we can learn within the book. The first bit that we can learn right in the introduction is Stephanie Goerlich's definition of BDSM. Obviously, we have our own definition that we've said many times before, but I liked she brought something new to the term that I was like, oh, I like that sort of way of saying it. So she suggests that BDSM has, it has the triple acronym going on of the BDDSM, but she suggests that it's all about combining desires and boundaries within those acronyms. So bondage and discipline, this is a quote, bondage and discipline are best described as an exchange of control. Dominance and submission, on the other hand, are an exchange of authority. And sadism and masochism is about giving and receiving sensation. So she breaks up the acronym into control, authority, and sensation, and playing with those in a relationship structure. I thought that was really intriguing. And like, I guess the idea of control and authority could be really slight, like it's kind of like parsing hairs, but there is some difference there. If you think about like control in bondage is all about restricting like physical movement and things like that, whereas authority, it's more like listening to rules and orders and commands. So you've got a slight difference there. Control isn't quite the same as authority. And then SM is all about sensations, which, yeah, that sounds about right. So what do you think? Do you like her
Yeah, when
idea?
you first read it to me, I thought, oh, control and authority sound very similar. DS, is that not about control? But I see, obviously, you know, it's not exact, but yeah, I think it's...
It obviously explains it way more.
Yeah.
Anyway, so apart from that, we're going to ignore most of this book because it doesn't really apply to us, and we're going to get to some fun exercises within it.
We're not saying the book's bad.
We're not at all.
We just don't have time to read it all.
And so we're just picking out some good bits. And she has some... What's nice about this book is there are some like worksheet type bits within the book. And there's one in particular that I want us to focus on, and it's about fantasies. And I want to focus on that one because we're all about communication over here. And I think it's a good exercise that anyone could do, whether you know about your partner's kinks or not. So feel free to follow along. Now, she's essentially made this mad-lib, and it's called My Fantasy Fill-In. And it follows, though, the premise of collaborative communication, which follows the program that Rosenberg put up in nonviolent communication. So she's made a mad-lib to help you think about your fantasies. And this mad-lib you can do on your own. You can do it with your partner. You can fill it out separately and then compare and contrast. And even if it sounds quite prescriptive, like fill in the blank, I think it's a useful thinking tool. And then you could take out bits of it and use it and then apply it into dirty talk, into sexting. So it has lots of applications. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Sound good?
Yeah.
Wanna now,
I'm not very good at doing exercises when I can't see it written down.
Now, thankfully, you've already filled yours out in the past.
All right. So yeah, I filled this out. I was doing it semi-seriously because I was trying something else out. But here's what it is. So I will say which bits I filled in. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have sex, I need, and then it's blank. How do I do this so that it's because they won't know what.
Just like say it in a different accent.
Okay, I will say it in a French accent. When we have sex, I need to feel aroused.
Keep going.
Sorry, apologies to any French people.
Myself included.
My focus tonight is on having an orgasm, or is not. You can blank out. So is on having an orgasm. I want to feel worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best ways to get me there is to blank my blank, and I put praise my cock.
Wait, I've come up with a solution. I read out and then you answer.
Yes, that is much better than the French.
I was enjoying it though.
Okay,
sorry.
Praise
you
my
want
cock.
to have someone praise your cock. Okay. To say
how much you want it.
To me while
touching me.
I love the feel of
your mouth and hands.
And would love to include that in our play together when you
suck my cock.
It makes me feel
admired.
And I really want to be a part of that, to be a part of our time together. On the other hand, I don't want to.
I put question mark because I couldn't think of anything.
Okay, because it makes me feel
boring.
Handsome because of the blank. And that's not what I want this time. I want you to know that when I watch you
being overpowered,
I get really
turned on.
And that is one of my favorite parts of being with you. I love seeing your
body
when we touch each other. And I really love your
blank
in my
blank. I was like, I'm not sure I want you to put anything in me.
In my-
So
Yeah, I came up with,
that's
when you
more
were sharing
for
this
a
bag,
woman.
I came up with some options that I do think work for someone who doesn't like things in their orifices. And I thought, like, I really love your moans in my ear, for example. But anyway.
Your scent in the morning.
Yes, yeah. Well, in my bedroom, in my sheets. Anyway. But we'll continue. Sometimes I like to imagine
another person joining in.
And I think it would be really hot if we could play around more with that idea together. When you call me
Daddy,
it feeds that fantasy for me and my body.
To be admired and in charge.
I think it would be fun if you
straddled
me on the
sofa.
I really want you to be
my little slut.
With me. And afterward, I want to
shower.
While you
wash me.
What do you think? Can I tempt you tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think filling out the worksheet, besides the things that you couldn't, like...
I found it quite difficult because, well, I did it when I was away. So it was more of it was an exercise. I was more doing it as an exercise of how I might fill it in. And then I just couldn't think of the right words because some of it was difficult.
The structure of...
Because there was nothing actually
sentence.
I wanted to do at that time.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like turned on when I was writing it. So I think I need to wait until I am and then fill it in, I think. I think it would probably sound very different if you do it on different times. And she actually does suggest that there's, you can fill it out. You don't have to fill it out all at once. You can fill it out on different days or at different times. You can fill it out when you're aroused or not. There's no right or wrong here. It's just a framework. I think the other thing was that nothing in here is surprising, and my tastes are pretty not like them, so you could probably guess what I was going to put in there. And so there wasn't like, it's not like I've got this kink that I'm struggling to talk to you about, and this would have helped if I did have that.
Yeah. I still think it's very useful.
It's definitely
hearing
useful,
your answers back,
Yeah.
it reminded me when I was reading it, I was like, oh, I should praise your cock more. I know I do so in actions, but it's like, but I'm like, are there ways that I could show that more? Because I'd happily praise your cock. That's, yeah. So I can implement that more when we are together. So there are some things that I think are fun to think about, and it's useful as a partner. I think this exercise is incredibly beneficial if you're struggling to say something out loud.
Definitely.
And if you really want to tell your partner about something, and you're struggling with the words, you're struggling with even the idea of how to formulate it, you could follow this and have a nice conversation about it.
Yeah, it's a good way to start.
So,
this conversation.
Should we roll reverse and I will fill it out on the fly?
Okay.
Okay, so here's the book.
I have it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
All right. So
when we have sex, I need.
See, this is going to be tricky.
It's difficult.
When we have
Do you want
sex,
to write? Do you want to write it down and then?
Well, I think it's fun to try to think about it. I'll try to be quick. When we have sex, I need cared for.
My focus tonight is or is not.
Is not on having an orgasm.
I want to feel
overwhelmed.
And one of the best ways to get me there is to
tease
my
holes. That doesn't
your
sound
holes,
as sexy.
holes.
My holes.
To say
naughty words
to me while
overpowering me with your strength.
I love the feel of
your body pressing into me,
and would love to include that in our play together. When you
bury your head into my neck,
it makes me feel
carnal.
And I really want that to be part of our time together. On the other hand, I don't want to
ride your face
because it makes me feel
too in control and floundering and like a novice, and I have no idea what I'm doing, and like I couldn't just be all loosey goosey in the air like that. Can you imagine?
And that's not what I want this time. I want you to know that when I watch you...
Ooh. And when I watch you flip me around,
I get really...
excited.
And that is one of my favorite parts of being with you. I love seeing your
your face. Sorry, that sounds so dismissive.
When we touch each other. Just your generic face. And I really love your
cock
in my
mouth. That's prescriptive. Like, obviously there are some things that are...
Could have said us.
Yeah, that too.
Sometimes I like to imagine
us in inappropriate situations following the ideas of consensual non-consent.
And I think it would be really hot if we could play around more with that idea together.
I really like the naughty transgressive side of of you corrupting my innocence.
That's the desire, isn't it?
Yeah.
Corruption of innocence. And
yeah.
When you call me
baby or little girl or little one,
it feeds that fantasy for me, and my body
drips. It does. Quakes, trembles, shakes.
Okay. And I think it would be fun if you...
Wee on me.
On the... Hopefully not the sofa.
In the shower.
In the shower. I really want you to be...
aggressive.
With me. And afterwards, I want to...
melt in your arms.
While you...
hug me.
What do you think? Can I tempt you tonight?
Go. What do you think? Any of that surprise you, or any?
I wouldn't have picked that you would say overwhelmed.
Good vocabulary word.
Yes.
I wouldn't have picked that you would have said adored.
Did I?
I think you
admired.
Admired.
I think I've spoken about that on the podcast before.
Yeah, and I think I've spoken about being overwhelmed, but it's funny the things that you kind of forget.
Yeah. I've actually put admired twice in mine. Yeah, it's an interesting exercise. I think it does. It's a good reminder if you are already in a DS relationship and you already have good communication. I think it's a good reminder of stuff you might have forgotten. It's also a good way to, if you're a dom and you're like, oh, what should I do in a scene? You could get your partner to fill one out, and it gives you some great ideas.
That's a great blueprint, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to come up with any, like, if your creative juices are not flowing, you could just say, hey, I have an assignment for you. And all of your like little minded subs would absolutely lap that up.
Yeah. I think as well, because it doesn't focus on specific activities necessarily or specific toys or ways of doing things. It encourages you to think about how you want to feel. And I mean, again, that's what I sort of talk about in my book, Sensational Scenes, which you can get at kinkyevents.co.uk. But it's about not necessarily the things you do. I mean, some of it describes things you do, but it also describes the way the other person wants to feel while you're doing them.
Yeah, and how you want to feel.
Yeah, and we've talked about that so many times because you've said you want to feel overwhelmed, and I've said I want to feel adored. There's a million things you could do to make the other person feel that way. And that's what I like about DS. You've got the freedom there. You've got the creative freedom to then play as the dominant with, okay, well, I know they like these 20 things because they've said so on their sex menu. Which one of those am I going to use tonight? Which technique am I going to use to make them feel overwhelmed?
Yeah. And in the Art of Submission course, you have a whole bit about kind of like analyzing your sexual desires and really delving
submissive
in
blueprint
to what it is that really gets you going. Like what are those activities, but then what are those feelings behind those activities? And on your site, you have a guide as well to your kinky desires. And can you analyze your porn watching habits or the things that you fantasize about? And can you pull out the feelings behind all of those things? And is there a way to get that feeling met in alternative ways? Which I think is a really interesting exercise to do, whether by yourself or with a partner.
Yeah, so shameless plug.
Yeah.
If you are a submissive and you like this kind of exercise, then there's a whole module on trying to understand where your desires, or not necessarily where they come from, but what your desires are, what kind of things you like, how to keep yourself safe. the Artist's Mission is a course that goes into all of that. So it's great if you're a beginner sub, you're just getting into this, you don't quite know how to meet the right person, how to vet DOMs, how to explain your desires to them, how to communicate, how to build scenes. It's all in there. And you can find that at kinkyevents.co.uk.
I'd like to thank you, Chief, for doing this podcast with me. I know that
Are we done?
We're not quite cute. You're a bit anticipatory about this one because I don't have a structure that I'm following because of ADHD. But I think it was a brilliant exercise, and Stephanie Goerlich has a few other exercises in this book that are also really intriguing. There's one about there's a list of erotic vocabulary words, and from a 0 to 10 scale.
Yeah, let's
and
do
you
it.
Go down with. You don't want to do it now?
Let's do it. But I should,
Okay.
before we do it, we're talking about her book and I want people to go and buy it because it's great.
Yeah.
But if you want a kind of digital version of it, of course you can just write it out yourself and fill in the blanks. But if not, you can find it. You can go to her website, I believe, which is...
She has a worksheet at stephaniegoerlich.com. We'll write this down in the links in the description, obviously, but STEFANIGOERLICH.com.
Yes, go there. There's a PDF which has quite a few of these exercises, and
all
it's
the
completely
worksheets
free.
from the book. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that.
Do check that out.
Check that out.
So to finish off, do you want to go through an erotic vocabulary?
Yeah, I want to
list?
rate how much I like the word cock.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you thought that mad-lib was tricky to figure out, words are hard, and sexy words.
Not the only thing that's hard.
Sexy words are hard because I still feel uncomfortable sometimes. Like, I know on the podcast I say cock and hole and vagina.
Hole,
I know, but
word.
like sometimes it feels crass to me, you know.
It can do, yeah.
And it kind of, even as I say it, I kind of cringe, and this is me speaking as someone who co-hosts a podcast about all of the things that we put into my butt, you know, like, I mean, amongst other subjects, but the language can still be a hold up, and sexting we do to try to, that's how we get around it most of the time, is we're much more open over sexting, because then you're not saying the word, you're typing it, which feels better, but it's hard to say these words out loud. So the final activity then is this erotic vocabulary list.
Could you read the instructions? Do I vote for how sexy I think the word is, or how difficult I find it saying?
There are a couple of different ways to play. So this is a quote from the book. Let's play a game right now and gauge the level of your own erotic vocabulary. Read the list of words below out loud. Then rate each one of them on a scale. So out loud, you have to read the word. Rate each one of them on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 indicates an extreme discomfort saying the word, and 10 represents total comfort. You can also use these insights to tailor how you discuss sex and intimacy with others moving forward.
Got it. So do I need the list?
I'll say the word.
Yes.
And
I say the number.
And I'll say my rating. And then you say the word and you say your rating. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Sound good? Okay. And 10 is being comfortable, very comfortable. And 1 is being uncomfortable. So, breasts. 10.
7. Just because it's very anatomical.
Yeah, but
it's
because
not sexy.
Because it's anatomical for me, it's like I can say breasts in the shop when I'm searching for bras. So I feel totally comfortable saying the word.
But in dirty talk, I'd feel,
But just the word itself.
Well, I'm thinking about when I would use it.
What would you say otherwise? Tits? I feel way less comfortable saying tits.
Same,
it sounds,
same.
you know, what, boobies? What else?
Mammary glands.
Yeah. What's the alternative?
Milk
if it's
puppies.
Not breasts, if it's not breasts, it's either boobs or tits.
Milk puppies.
Fun
bags.
Okay. What would your alternative be?
I don't know.
In a sexy.
I probably wouldn't say. I'd say nipples. I concentrate on one area. Your areola.
But if you're grabbing, you know, like a
fistful of boob. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Penis. My rating for penis. I mean, it's still anatomical, but saying it in like saying your penis or something like that, I'd say I'm obviously less comfortable with that. So I'll say 8.
Yeah, I'd say 8. Again, it's very anatomical. I'd never say in dirty talk. Penis.
Okay.
I wouldn't, because it's just it's so clinical. I want to put my penis in your vagina.
But in certain role play scenarios, very useful.
Yes.
Vulva.
Like if you're role playing, go to the doctor. I've got a lump on my penis.
Yeah. Yeah. Vulva. Already. And I know this is probably social conditioning. Vulva for me is not a word that I like to say because it's just weird. And it feels like overly analyzed. And I know that the vulva is the outside of the vagina or whatever, but like you don't even learn the word vulva until late. Like little boys know that their penis is called a penis. A lot of times little girls don't know that their vulva is called a vulva until they go to like health or like sex ed. And that I think is within my own brain. Like vulva, I never said the word vulva as a child or as an adolescent because like I didn't even know the word. I didn't learn the word vulva until I was a teenager. You know? So,
yeah.
So my comfort level of vulva and using it in erotic vocabulary, nah. It's like a 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it. So vulva maybe for me is a 8, but I quite like the word.
Yeah, I like the sound of the word on the tongue is
it's like
nice.
Volvo. I always think of Volvo.
Vulva. Yeah. It's actually what's annoying.
It's nicer than vagina.
It's a nice word. It is much nicer than vagina. Yeah. Anyways, next on the list is vagina, and I just have to say, in terms of like words for anatomy, vagina's like it's not a pleasant word.
No.
I like it sounds harsh for what it is. Vulva actually sounds like what it is. Vulva sounds like a rose opening up, you know? It sounds like a petal, a flower, whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds very soft. It sounds very inviting. Vagina.
Yeah.
You say it in an English accent?
Vagina.
Yeah, it's just not.
Some people are called Regina, which is quite close. I wouldn't like to be called that.
Yeah, some people are called vagina.
Apologies for anyone.
Virginia.
Yeah,
but vagina, it has
closer.
that. It has Aina. Aina is just not. It's not an attractive set of syllables.
Vagina. Yeah, not a. Again, I wouldn't. The only reason I'd be saying these is in dirty talk, and so I wouldn't use the clinical names.
Yeah, but you do. I mean, yeah, which is why we default to pussy, which I don't think is any better. But yeah,
but I know.
I
some
don't,
people have a strong reaction.
Yeah.
I prefer it.
To pussy or cunt.
I say both.
I prefer pussy because it has that feminine. Like I can put it into the idea of corrupted innocence much more easily than cunt. And since that's my shtick, then I prefer pussy.
Pussy shtick.
Yeah. You've got a pussy shtick. Anyway, vagina, my rating, I mean
8 again for me.
Yeah, 8. Testicles. My comfort rating for testicles is 9. It's just what they are.
I don't know. I thought these.
It's going to get worse.
I thought it'd be more slang words.
It's going to get worse.
Okay, well, should we speed up?
Yeah, but give
testicles.
Yeah.
Balls.
And say the rating.
I don't know. 8.
Okay.
All of mine have been 8 so far.
Yeah. Scrotum.
8.
8. I mean, I feel comfortable saying scrotum. Yeah, well, 8. Yeah. Princess.
Princess.
My comfort level is 10.
Really?
Saying the word princess?
Yeah, but it's not just saying the word, it's using it in a context.
Erotic context, yeah, princess is not as high on my list.
I put it down just because a lot of
8. No, yeah, 8 then, if we're thinking erotically. Anus. 8.
Yeah.
Clitoris.
Hate your anus.
Clitoris. 8. Yeah. Nipples. That one's easier to say, I think. Nipples, I'll give that a 9.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah. Butt.
10.
Orgasm. 10.
Orgasm, yeah, 10.
Cock.
10.
And for me, saying it and thinking it are different, and I know I say it a lot, but it's still it's like a 7. Even when I ask you, actually, especially
what was penis?
Especially like an 8 or a 10. especially if I ask you. Like, even I asked you this morning, and even as I asked you, then the hang up of me asking you is that word, Daddy, may I suck your cock?
But it's not cock on its own then. It's the suck your cock is the...
Yeah, but it's, yeah. But I mean, can I hold your cock? Like asking for anything to do with your cock makes me feel...
What about scrotum? Can I hold your scrotum? How's that?
That's true. So scrotum goes down as well.
But is it
in my comfort level? But no, like it...
Is it not just the asking bit, maybe?
When else am I
Or is
supposed
it
to
the
say
word?
cock? Oh, like I love your cock in my ass. It's difficult to say, but that's because I'm saying something that's really difficult to say anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's the word. I think it's the context.
Well then, yeah, I mean, cock. Yeah, 7. Balls.
Balls.
I'll also put that at a 7. 8, actually.
10.
It's easier to say balls.
10.
But like, suck your balls would probably bring it back down. Clit.
10. Clit.
10. Clit. Come.
Come.
You're so enthused.
10.
Yeah, can I come? What's funny is that it's spelled cum in here, and I know there's something like I think there's a difference for me, like intellectually when I'm reading Literotica, and if they spell cum versus come, I prefer when it's spelled like come, as in like come here,
Yeah.
as opposed to come with a U, because come with a U sounds more slang. It sounds more like vulgar somehow, even though it's pronounced the exact same.
So they differentiate
when I
between
read it,
the verb and the
yeah, but you can
noun.
come here and come on my cock, and if it's spelled the same, I prefer that to come here and come on my cock.
What about come though? The noun.
Yeah, that's...
It should be either.
What do you mean, huh?
Because cum.
It can only be the
both.
noun.
No.
No. Huh?
No, to come is the verb. They both
What
can
do
be
you mean?
interchangeable.
The come is the substance.
No, it's are you going to come?
Yeah. So
Verb.
I'm meaning, yeah.
They both can be verbs or nouns.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. No, I prefer when it's come.
Okay.
When it's cum, it feels lesser quality.
But it feels more. It feels more
It
raw.
feels more dirty.
Yeah.
It also feels more. It's usually a sign of a poor writer on the Erotica.
If someone texted me that, I'd prefer the word come. I think.
But if I'm coming, then I'm going to use come. But like talking about your come specifically, then I guess I would say see you if I'm texting you. Oh, like
that's the thing.
Your cum is still sticky between my legs or something. Although I wouldn't text you that. But
yeah.
Anyway, semantics, literally. Balls. Oh wait, we did that one already. Whore. Yeah, I feel much less comfortable with that one. I'll put it at a 6.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's fine.
Even less actually.
9, 8, 9.
No, that's going down my list actually. I'd say whore is a 3.
This is going to be interesting to be.
Slut is much higher on my list, but whore is way low.
I know.
Yeah.
I just find that bizarre.
It's context. It's semantics. Ass. 10. Wet. 10.
Yeah.
Sex.
Moist.
1.
No one likes moist.
I don't care. This whole I know it's a meme. Who the flip cares about the word?
Because it does.
Moist sounds
a bit cringy.
Moist sounds no different than vagina.
It's a bit cringy.
Exactly, just like vagina. So moist.
No,
and
it's definitely more cringy than
moist. But you wouldn't if someone's
moist.
If someone's moist, they need to go to the doctor.
No, it just means wet. If someone said,
but it's not
you're
the
making me
same.
so moist.
It's not the same. Moist is like sweaty.
Yeah, that's why people don't like it.
Yeah,
but it means the same thing.
But I disagree. Wet would be like dripping. Moist is like there's like humidity coming out of your skin.
But the people use it to mean wet.
Gross. Yeah, don't use the word moist. Like when my panties are moist, that's gross. When my panties are wet, that's hot. Although neither feel comfortable.
See, I don't like the word panties.
I know. But
it's quite an American word.
It is, but it differentiates from your briefs or your boxers. But typically I just say pants now. I do just say generally pants, even for my own. But if I'm wanting to emphasize the fact that it's my
knickers
panties,
My undergarments
sex,
are
we
sodden with the fruit of my loins when I see you and you're
Okay.
riding into town.
Oh, you should make that one as a gag mad-lib. Add that to the list.
Well,
Do like a Victorian
1920s.
style
Yeah.
mad-lib. That would be hilarious. Okay. Masturbation.
Masturbation.
I mean, 10 to say, but like
I'd never say it.
I wouldn't say it as like masturbate. Ma'am, sir. So ma'am is a no for me. It. It's not attractive. Sir,
yes, ma'am.
Sir is still something that I don't feel incredibly comfortable with. I'm going to give that a 5.
Interesting. Sir, yeah, fine. 10.
Well, like no, but I mean in an erotic, like I prefer saying daddy to sir. Sir, I'm being punished. Okay, maybe it's not a 5, but it's a 7.
Both.
You want me to call you sir?
No.
See?
But I don't mind it. You can if you want.
I prefer calling you daddy.
Exactly.
Tease. 10.
10.
Because I like to be teased. Tingle.
10.
That's 11. That's a great word. Tingle. That's a fun word. When we're texting, I can't remember what it is that I say when all of a sudden I'm starting to feel aroused, and it's like I've lost it in my thoughts. But I know it's what I say when I'm starting to get tingly.
Squirmy.
Squirmy. Thank you. I say squirmy, like it's making me squirm because it is. That's the sensation. Anyway, throb. 10. Throb's fun. Throb.
10.
Does your cock throb?
It does sometimes. Sometimes it's painful.
Ache. 10.
10, although I think of toothache. So.
Naughty. 10. Master, mistress.
Master, yeah.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Dick.
Dick.
Oh, I don't like that one. That one doesn't.
No, I don't use it.
That's not sexy. Dick isn't sexy. Come over here and ride my dick. Yeah, no thanks.
Some people like it.
I know, not me. Dick, I'm giving a.
It can be
low,
alright.
like a 4 or 5.
Right. Stick your dick in my ass.
Ride.
You don't like riding.
But I like the word. 10. I don't mind riding. You're teaching me, and I'm getting better at it.
You are.
It's really
You come
exciting.
on top.
Each time it's very surprising. It causes a mess though, and a big ache. That's
Does it
not
make
purposeful.
you tingle?
Yeah. Little girl or boy?
Yeah, fine. 10.
9.
8, 9, 10.
Even though my comfort thinking is higher. Slut.
That's 10. We've done that one.
Yeah, no, but we had just talked about it when we were talking about whore. Yeah, I prefer slut. 8. Fuck.
10.
10. Cunt.
10. Depends if the other person likes it or not.
7. It's not as...
If I know the other person likes it, it's a 10. Otherwise...
I prefer pussy, and pussy isn't on this list. Is it?
Yeah, we did it.
No, we just talked about it ourselves. So, that's the exercise. Do check out Stephanie Goerlich's work in her book with sprinkles on top. Everything vanilla people and their kinky partners need to know to communicate, explore, and connect. We'll link it all in the description. Any final words, Chief?
Cock.
All right.
No final words.
How do we end this?
I don't know.
Okay, do we want to go in the shower and wee on me?
I do need a wee quite desperately.
Okay, let's go then. Bye.
Bye. Lots of love and spanks. And check out kinkyevents.co.uk.
Obviously. Woo. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Chief from kinkyevents.co.uk, helping you create the dom sub dynamic you've always fantasized about.